Hi, I'm Roger Michalski, publisher of Eagle Financial Publications, and welcome to our special Retirement Roundtable, the 3 biggest threats to your retirement and how to stop them. Whether you're retired now, or planning to retire soon, or saving for retirement, you're going to want to pay close attention to everything we present to you here today. We call these threats the Big 3, because taken together, they could have a devastating effect on the lives of every single retiree out there. The first of the Big 3 threats is something that concerns almost everyone. Whether you're retired now or planning to retire, this threat is out there, lurking in the shadows of your retirement dreams. And the longer you're retired, the greater the possibility this threat could come for you. Today, we'll show you how specific strategies can work together to neutralize this threat and greatly improve the quality of your retirement years. The second big retirement threat is something retirees have been battling for decades now. An 8-headed monster with a huge appetite for your money. This beast is tricky and has multiple ways to attack you. It can come at you directly, or worse yet, it can sneak up on you in ways you would never suspect to quietly suck up more and more of your retirement savings. And if that weren't enough, there's retirement threat number 3. In fact, of the big 3 you'll hear about today, this one is considered the single greatest threat facing retirees today. It can come out of the blue, often when you least expect it. And when it does, it can be financially crippling. It's worse than any government policy. It's more financially devastating than any market crash or any recession. It can rob your retirement account of hundreds of thousands of dollars, wiping you out completely, faster than you'd think. Frankly, it could completely derail your retirement dreams. The worst part? No one likes to talk about it, so few people ever plan for it, which is really just insane. Because this retirement bombshell will affect up to 70% of all retirees at some point. Fortunately, there are solutions to each of these threats. And for the first time anywhere, we're presenting powerful breakthrough retirement strategies that will help you stop the 3 biggest threats to your retirement dead in their tracks, while potentially putting mountains of money into your retirement plan. In fact, just one strategy can let you increase your nest egg by $125,000. And that's a conservative estimate, by the way. Depending on your situation, that money could be much, much more. And here's another strategy. We'll be showing you how you can virtually eliminate the single biggest threat to your retirement with just one small change to your current plans, while adding over $300,000 of additional value to your retirement savings, protecting your nest egg longer, and creating a lasting legacy for your family. All totaled, these 2 strategies alone have the potential to deliver $425,000 in additional value to your retirement. And it could be much, much more. And here's the best part. Both of these powerful, little understood strategies create tax-free windfalls for you and your family. So with all that and a lot more to cover today, let's get started with our Retirement Roundtable. Today, I'm going to be joined by not 1, but 2 esteemed retirement experts. My first guest is considered the top retirement expert in the country, and a man I've had the pleasure to work with for several years now. He's going to share his strategies for defeating the first 2 threats of your retirement, including how you can add a full $125,000 to your nest egg tax-free. The second gentleman joining us today is another leading retirement expert, an estate planning specialist who's flown all the way from Arizona to be with us today. It's a great privilege to have him with us, and you'll want to stick around and hear what he has to say, because he's going to introduce you to the one strategy that will solve the number 1 biggest threat to your retirement today, and show you how to potentially add a whopping $300,000 in value to your retirement plans. He'll be joining us in just a few minutes. Right now, let's meet our first guest. Bob Carlson was trained as an accountant, passed the CEPA exam, and is a graduate of the University of Virginia School of Law. He's also the best-selling author of books The New Rules of Retirement, Invest Like a Fox, Not a Hedgehog, and Personal Finance After 50 for Dummies, as well as numerous other books, reports, and white papers. With over 25 years' experience researching all the nuanced details about retirement planning, Bob today is widely considered America's #1 retirement expert. He's so respected in the field, he's been asked to chair the Board of Trustees of the Fairfax County Employees Retirement System, one of the richest counties in the entire nation, overseeing almost $4 billion in assets. He also served on the Virginia Retirement System Board of Trustees from 2000 to 2005, helping oversee $42 billion in assets. These positions have given Bob in-depth information and insights into strategies unavailable to others. In short, Bob truly knows his business. He's helped tens of thousands of retirees build lifetime financial security in the face of ever-increasing threats. And he's here to help you do the same. Bob, thank you for joining me.
It's my pleasure, Roger.
Now, Bob, I've asked you to be part of this retirement roundtable to discuss the first two of the big three threats and the best ways to neutralize the impact they can have on your retirement. So let's get right into it.
Of course. The first of the big three threats is something nearly all retirees worry about. In fact, in a recent study by Northwestern Mutual showed this one threat alone has become a major concern, a serious problem for almost 80% of people planning for retirement.
And what is it, Bob?
Roger, it's simply outliving your money. And there's a good reason why. Most Americans simply do not have enough money set aside for retirement. In fact, half of all adults surveyed for this study say they have done nothing about their retirement. And more than half say they expect to delay their retirement because they don't have enough saved.
Now, Bob, you've shown me these statistics. The numbers are shocking. 1 in 3 Americans have less than $5,000 in retirement savings. That's really hard to believe. 1 in 5 have no retirement savings at all. And a third of all baby boomers, the generation hitting retirement age right now, of course, have less than $25,000 in savings.
And the bad news just keeps coming. 73% believe they'll have to work past the age of 70, all because they won't have enough money to retire comfortably.
Now, Bob, what about IRAs and other savings accounts? The latest data I've seen is that the average IRA holds only about $104,000, and over 43 million American households own an individual retirement account. Certainly, these folks have all bought into the idea that IRAs make retirement plans easier to plan for.
IRAs can be a great way to save for retirement, and they've been a key part of retirement planning for millions of Americans. In fact, financial security often depends on making that IRA wealth last beyond a lifetime. But as you'll see in a moment, there are problems with the IRAs themselves. I'll discuss these problems in more detail when we get to the second biggest threat to your retirement.
Okay, so Bob, these are shocking numbers. So what strategies work best to head off this threat?
Well, there are really only two basic solutions for every retirement threat. Maximize your incoming money and minimize your outgoing money.
Well, that makes sense. So let's start with the first one. How do our viewers maximize their income?
The first thing to do is to establish a floor of guaranteed income.
Can you explain what that means?
Sure. You set up the minimum amount of income that you can rely on that's guaranteed to you, so you'll be able to cover your basic living expenses.
All right, got it. Now, what are the best ways to build guaranteed income?
There are really just 3 sources of guaranteed income, but not all of them are available to everyone. Employer pensions are one, but they're going the way of the dodo. Only 14% of the workforce even get a pension these days. A more accessible strategy is the proper use of annuities. I carefully study changes in the annuity market every year, and I address these changes regularly in my Retirement Watch newsletter. Now, not all annuities are the same. You have to shop around for the one that's right for you and for your situation. But if you're worried about outliving your money, well, my research led me to one annuity that actually pays you 8 times your initial investment once you turn age 85. But you don't have to wait that long to benefit from it.
Okay, Bob, and the third guaranteed income stream?
Well, Roger, it's good old Social Security. Even though there are some pitfalls to watch out for, Social Security benefits are still one of the foundations of retirement income. At lower incomes, Social Security can replace around 90% of your annual income from when you were working. As your income gets higher, the Social Security replacement ratio declines. Yet even at the highest incomes, an increase in Social Security benefits can be a cornerstone of retirement, especially if you make the right moves to enhance your benefits.
So, how can our viewers enhance Social Security?
Well, I've been telling my readers for years, the biggest thing affecting your Social Security payments is the age you start getting your payments. Of course, you can start collecting as early as age 62, but for every year you can put off collecting, you can increase your benefits by as much as 8%. In fact, if you delay payments 8 years until age 70, instead of taking them at age 62, you could receive up to 76% more on each check. That's enough to push your average $1,400 monthly payment to more than $2,464.
Wow, really? So delaying your benefits for just 8 years could almost double the amount of your Social Security check?
When you factor in an age adjustment and inflation increases, yes. In addition, that higher benefit will continue for life, and it will increase with inflation each year. It can also affect your spouse's benefits. If you take your benefits early, your spouse's benefits will be reduced. But if you delay your benefits, your spouse will see higher benefits. That's just one strategy to maximize your benefits. It might not be right for everyone, but it's a great way to increase guaranteed income.
So that brings us on how to minimize your outgoing money. What are some of the other ways to avoid outliving your money and maybe even outfox the tax man at the same time?
Well, for starters, be shrewd about how you take distributions from your IRA or 401k. It can make a huge difference in how you live. The average IRA, as we've mentioned, is just $104,000. So managing your distributions becomes of paramount importance. There are specific strategies that can stretch out your IRA so you can receive as much income as possible for as long as possible. In fact, with proper management, you can actually stay in a 20% tax bracket or even lower for life.
Now, Bob, legally, you must begin taking distributions from your IRA at age 70 and a half, correct?
That's absolutely true. When you hit that age, you have to begin taking what's called the required minimum distribution, or RMD. But if you do it the right way, you can take your RMD and still keep your IRA pumping out cash for years. Here's an example, one I've only shared in Retirement Watch. There is a way for you to begin taking distributions from your IRA without ever liquidating a share of a stock or a mutual fund. It depends on how you do it, but it's simple and perfectly legal.
Okay, I think that brings us right into retirement threat number 2. That 8-headed monster that can have a huge impact on whether you outlive your money or not, because it's unpredictable and it has the power to change the rules at any time. Of course, Bob, we're talking about
the U.S. government, Roger.
Yeah, Bob, you've been sounding the alarm about the government attacks on retirement for quite a long time now.
I have, and for good reasons. As you can see, they have the power to change the retirement rules as they see fit. And one of the biggest rule changes is coming down the pike. And it's going to slam right into millions of retirement accounts. Congress is going to be reducing and possibly eliminating completely all the tax benefits of your retirement account. That's starting with the big benefit, the pre-tax benefits of your 401k plans.
And that could be devastating.
A move of this magnitude would completely alter the retirement landscape, and it could be happening sooner rather than later. Think about it. On one side, you have a government with a huge spending problem, and on the other side, you have a mountain of untapped tax revenue just sitting in retirement accounts. All that money, doing nothing. It's irresistible.
Washington politicians must be licking their chops. They can't wait to sink their teeth into all that cash.
There's no getting around it. Uncle Sam is gearing up for a major war against you and your retirement money by taxing or shutting down a number of retirement strategies, except for one, because they won't be able to touch it.
And that's the $125,000 solution you'll be telling us about later.
It is. With one simple move, you can take matters into your own hands. You'll generate more income, $125,000 or more, and you'll be able to keep it. Once this cash flow is set in motion, there's nothing the government can do to take it away.
Now, this strategy is available to 1 in 9 Americans, so approximately 35 million of us have the ability to add up to $125,000 in additional retirement savings. You can find out if you're one of them in just a minute. Now, speaking about the government, what about Social Security? You told me there are lots of pitfalls in Social Security that could have a huge effect on the money you collect.
That's absolutely true. And again, it's because of the U.S. government. The feds are always looking for ways to suck up as much of your money as possible. And most people don't realize you can owe income tax on Social Security if your earnings exceed a certain level. Depending on how you file, whether as an individual or jointly, if you earn between $25,000 and $34,000, you could end up paying taxes on up to 50% of your Social Security benefit. If your income is more than $34,000, up to 85% of your benefits could be taxable.
Wow, 85%? That sounds like a huge tax bite.
It is, and a lot of people don't realize this, but for every dollar of additional income you earn above these levels, some of your Social Security benefits also are included in income. The result is that many retirees fall into the 40% marginal tax bracket. So for each additional dollar of income they earn, they pay 40 cents in taxes.
Oh my, that's amazing. And that reminds me of something you mentioned earlier about a problem with IRA accounts and how it relates to threat number 2, the government. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Of course. Your IRA is meant to last a lifetime, but there's a time bomb built into most IRA accounts, and it starts ticking the minute you retire. You see, traditional IRAs and 401ks have a lot of tax breaks on the front end. IRA contributions often are deductible, and 401k contributions are excluded from income, while the gains in income grow free of income taxes.
Eventually, you have to pay the piper.
That's right. And once you retire and start to withdraw the money, everything becomes taxable. The contributions you made, the compounded income and gains, it's all taxable. That's hugely important because the real value of your IRA at retirement will be what's left after the government takes its chunk. Look, if the average IRA account is around $104,000. If that gets taxed as regular income at a 20% tax rate, you're looking at roughly $21,000 of your savings going straight to Uncle Sam. This IRA time bomb is a big reason why many people could be outliving their money.
Okay, let's talk about solutions. How do we keep the tax wolf from the door? For our viewers at home, a little warning here. We're going to be talking about tax management strategies here. So you may want to get a cup of coffee to stay awake here.
It's not going to be that bad, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about tax management strategies, which is a very important topic.
One of the most powerful tax-saving weapons that should be in every retiree's arsenal is the Roth IRA. Their unique benefits are just tremendous. There's no age limit on contributions. There are no required minimum distributions at age 70 and a half. And the best reason ever to open a Roth IRA, not one dime you withdraw from it in retirement is ever taxed, no matter how much your money has grown over the years. Now, not everyone can open a Roth IRA. For example, a couple with an adjusted gross income of $160,000 or more, and that's $110,000 for single taxpayers, is not allowed to make a Roth IRA contribution. But anyone can convert a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA, and they can take advantage of the significant tax savings that Roth IRAs offer.
Yeah, that sounds like a really valuable strategy.
It is, and it's easy to do, too. You build up your traditional tax-deferred IRA as much as possible. Then convert your regular IRA to a Roth IRA. You can even do the same thing with your 401k. You will pay taxes on the conversion, but it could be considerably less than the taxes you'd be forced to shell out in the future. Unless your income tax rate is going to be lower in the future than it is now, it can make a lot of sense to pay taxes now and shelter all the future gains and income from income taxes. I've explained the rationale for this in some detail in my books and in articles in Retirement Watch.
Okay, so Bob, what are the other strategies our viewers can use to protect their IRA accounts?
Here are 3 simple strategies that have worked out well. 1, keep the number of trades you make in your taxable investment accounts to a minimum. Frequent trading will mean short-term gains, which are taxable at a higher rate. 2, always tap into your Roth IRAs and other tax-exempt accounts last and taxable accounts first. Let the money from any tax-qualified account, such as a traditional IRA, sit and compound longer before you begin taking distributions from it. Just keep in mind, if you contributed to a Roth IRA and you want to begin taking distributions of income or gains, that account must be open at least 5 years before you take that money out. If not, the income and gains may not be considered qualified, so there may be additional taxes to be paid. 3, set up an emergency fund or cash reserve fund.
So Bob, what's an emergency fund?
It's a pretty simple solution to an age-old problem, which is having the market move against you. Here's how it works. Set aside a portion of your portfolio, equal to 1 to 3 years of your estimated spending. You choose the amount. Invest this part of the portfolio in super safe assets such as money market funds or CDs, things that will not be affected by negative market action. Once that's established, if a bear market or a recession does come along, those funds will be safe, giving you as much as 36 months of spending power, while giving the rest of your portfolio time to recover. Also, assets like money market funds have a fixed rate of return, so you'll have a minimal additional tax burden when you tap into that account.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Bob.
That's why I'm here.
Now, Bob, let's finally talk about the powerful strategy you've uncovered. It lets you defeat the first 2 of the big 3 retirement threats. It gives you more money for retirement, so there's less chance of outliving your money. And it cuts out the government, always a good thing, because this money comes to you 100% tax-free. You call it your $125,000 solution. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it and what it can do for our viewers?
My pleasure. In my eyes, this is the holy grail of retirement planning because it lets you collect money up front without having to pay any taxes on it. First, the $125,000. That's a conservative estimate of the money you could be bringing in. Depending on your situation, you could be collecting much, much more.
Now, some of the brightest minds have already caught on to its amazing potential. Forbes magazine calls the $125,000 solution a retiree savings grace. MIT professor Robert Merton, a Nobel Prize-winning economist, said this is going to become one of the key means of funding retirement in the future. And Tom Davison, who's a PhD and a certified financial planner, he stated that the $125,000 solution fundamentally provides access to a solidly growing amount of cash.
And you can set up the $125,000 solution any way you want. You can take it as a lump sum. You can choose to receive money every 30 days like clockwork. In fact, you could be collecting an extra $1,500 every month. You mentioned earlier the majority of folks 65 or older, I think you said it was 35 million of them, qualify for this solution. Yet only about 1 million people have taken advantage of it, even though it's fully approved by the IRS.
Yeah, I'm really surprised more people aren't jumping on this opportunity. 1, it's safe. 2, it's reliable. Once it's set in motion, you get your money. And 3, it's completely unaffected by the stock market. Bull market, bear market, doesn't matter, you get your money.
The $125,000 solution even has built-in safety benefits. For example, your spouse is also protected under this plan. So if you were to pass on, your spouse, in most cases, continues to collect in full every month. As I said, it's tax-free. It's even exempt from your estate taxes. It doesn't matter if you're already retired, you're planning to retire in the next 5 to 10 years, or if you're already getting Social Security checks. You can use this to collect over $1,500 every 30 days while paying 0 taxes.
Bob, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
It's my pleasure, Roger. I love talking about this stuff.
Yeah, I know you do. And thank you for tipping us off to the $125,000 solution. It's an incredible way to increase your retirement income without worrying about the tax man hitting you up for more. Now, Bob, I believe you know my next guest.
I do indeed. We've known each other professionally for years now. He's extremely knowledgeable, and I can't wait to hear his solution for the biggest threat to your retirement today.
Okay, I know we've given you a lot of information at once, and it may seem a little bit overwhelming, but don't worry, we've got you covered. Because we put together detailed write-ups on everything we're covering in this retirement roundtable. Every strategy, every plan, every idea, including Bob's $125,000 solution, all laid out for you right at your fingertips. I'll show you how to claim your roundtable report shortly. But right now, I'd like to introduce my very special guest. He's a retirement and estate planning expert. And I wanted him here because when it comes to dealing with the biggest threat to your retirement, he's one of the most respected minds in the country. And without a doubt, this is the biggest threat to your retirement out there. It can come at you out of the blue. And if you're not prepared, it can completely devastate your retirement. It can take a retirement that's taken a lifetime to build and wipe it out just like that. It could leave you completely dependent on your children for the rest of your life, which is why I'm so excited to have our next guest with us here today. His name is David Phillips. With over 46 years of experience, Dave has become a nationally recognized expert in retirement and estate planning. He's CEO of Phillips Financial Services and founder and CEO of Estate Planning Specialist. He's also a best-selling author of books like Estate Planning Made Easy, The Family Bank Strategy, and the 10 most common estate planning mistakes and how to avoid them. Dave's assisted thousands of Americans to properly plan their estates, and it's a real privilege to have him here with us today. Dave, thanks for joining us today.
Great to be here, Roger.
Great to see you again, Dave.
You too, Bob.
So let's get right to it. Tell us, what is the all-time biggest threat to retirement today, and how can our viewers prepare for it right now?
Let's just look at some of the facts first, because the statistics are alarming. For folks over 65, we're talking about 70%, that's 7 out of 10, who will be forced to deal with this threat. 80% of all women over 65, that's 8 out of 10, will face this threat at some point. And if you're married and over 65, there's a 91% likelihood that one spouse will experience this threat. And if you don't plan for it now, it's almost assured to destroy your retirement. It will leave you destitute, relying on your children, or worse, the government, for the rest of your life. I'm talking about what happens when a long-term illness or disability strikes. Health issues can have a huge impact as we get older. And just as we're getting ready to retire, that's when we're most vulnerable. An illness or injury can totally pull the rug out from under us, destroying our plans for a happy retirement. And most of us, 70%, are going to be dealing with some kind of health problem, whether it's a fractured hip, a debilitating illness, or dementia at some point in their life.
And it's just not retirees who have to deal with this, right?
No, it's not. Here's something almost nobody knows about long-term care. 40% of patients in nursing homes today are actually under the age of 65. And just wrap your mind around the staggering costs. The national average cost for home care is $25 per hour. A private room in a nursing home currently averages nearly $100,000 per year. That's the average. I don't really want average. I'd like better than average for myself and my family. Patients with dementia have to spend almost twice as much. Bottom line, getting sick can have a devastating impact on your retirement savings.
But Dave, isn't Medicare or Medicaid supposed to cover such an event?
Well, here's the thing. You mentioned earlier how the government is one of the big 3 threats to retirement. Well, this is one big reason why. Currently, Medicaid pays 43% of all long-term care expenses. But to qualify, you must spend down your entire nest egg, every last cent. In other words, the government makes you become impoverished before they'll step in and help you. Looking at these statistics, the reality is that someday the vast majority of us are going to pay for our long-term care expenses. The question is that we must ask ourselves, where's the money going to come from? From our savings and investments, our children, Uncle Sam, or from a third-party source? One thing is for certain, unless we prepare ahead of time, our wealth, our dreams, our family's inheritance will be ripped away from us.
Dave, we've talked about this problem many times, and you mentioned some of the most dangerous myths people believe about long-term care. So let's address those. Like myth number 1, my family will take care of me. What about that?
Well, Bob, it's not going to happen. Families are just too busy and too spread out these days. And combine that with long work hours, longer commutes, their kids' activities. It's nearly impossible for your family to provide the care you'll need. And if someone in your family could find the time to be your caregiver, Think about it. Caregiving involves lifting, bathing, toileting, which can take an emotional and physical toll. So it's no wonder that a husband or wife caring for a disabled spouse is 6 times more likely to suffer from anxiety and depression. No wonder. No one wants to be that kind of a burden on anybody. But if we don't plan properly, we paint ourselves into a corner and we're forced to spend our assets or have our family take care of us, usually at an overwhelming financial, emotional, and physical cost.
That's very alarming, Dave. What about myth number 2, that the government's health care will take care of us?
Good luck. Medicare, regular health insurance, and HMOs generally cover only skilled care, doctors, nurses, therapists, and the like. Most long-term care is not considered skilled care, and disability income doesn't cover long-term care services. As I pointed out earlier, the government insists you impoverish yourself before Medicaid will step in.
And now how about myth number 3? I'll just pay for it myself.
Well, that's optimistic at best. Again, look at the cost. The national average for a 1-year stay in a private nursing home is around $100,000 to $200,000, depending on where you go. Factor in inflation, taxation on liquidated assets, and it won't take long to burn through a lifetime of savings very quickly.
So what's the solution?
Well, it's actually pretty simple. I call it the nest egg multiplier and protection plan, because you can put in any amount you want, and that amount could triple, even quadruple in value or more automatically.
Dave, that sounds too good to be true.
Well, I know it does, but that's the incredible thing about it. It is absolutely real, and it's 100% IRS approved. It's not a trick or some unconventional accounting scheme. It's real, it's legal, and it's available today. And every dollar that you deposit into a nest egg multiplier will explode by 300%, 400%, 500%, or more.
So where did this nest egg multiplier come from?
Well, here's what happened. The politicians in Washington were worried about the tidal wave of aging baby boomers hitting retirement age. After all, it's the biggest population bubble in history. It also happens to be one of the largest and most active voting blocs in the country. To help out, they passed a piece of legislation called the Pension Protection Act. Deep inside this act is a little-known article that allows for the creation of this nest egg multiplier.
So the government can actually do something good for your retirement? That's unheard of.
Yeah, well, in this instant, yes. Let me give you an example of what this can do. Let's say you have $100,000 invested in a 1-year CD paying you 2%. When that CD comes due, you will have earned an extra $2,000, right? That's a terrible return. Now, thanks to the law, you can multiply that money exponentially. Take that same $100,000 and put it into the nest egg multiplier. And boom, you're sitting on $300,000, maybe even as much as $1 million in added value.
How can that happen?
Basically, the government's made it possible for every retiree, even pre-retirees, to prepay for their long-term care, and to do it in a way that guarantees them a specific multiple of their initial investment. Say you put in $50,000. That could become $150,000, even all the way to $500,000 in extra value, depending on your personal situation. $100,000 could become $300,000, all the way up to $1 million.
It's like heads you win, tails you win too.
That's right, exactly right, Bob.
So the nest egg multiplier will multiply your money specifically to cover long-term care costs, so you never have to tap into your retirement account or be forced to spend down your hard-earned savings just to qualify for Medicaid.
Precisely. I'd like to say you're taking regular US dollars and turning them into long-term care dollars for just pennies on the dollar, and getting hundreds of times more value than anything you can find in traditional investments. In fact, the 20-year internal rate of return on these plans hovers around 12%, meaning that if you deposited the same sum into a different investment that you could use for your care, you would have to earn more than 12% year after year and have it guaranteed. And you'd have to achieve that without ever having a down year, like we had in 2001 or 08 or any other time.
That's incredible.
And it gets even better. If you happen to buck the odds, if you happen to be in that slim 30% of the folks who won't need long-term care, you will still win. Here's how. Even if you never use your long-term care dollars, your money still multiplies many times over because your spouse and your heirs will receive more than your initial deposit after you're gone in one of two ways.
So $100,000 becomes $300,000 for your family.
Absolutely. And the best thing, all of the money you earn, either for long-term care or as an inheritance, is paid out 100% income tax-free, sanctioned and approved by Congress and the IRS.
Dave, if I can interject something here. I've looked into these programs, and I think they're just incredible. Perhaps the single best thing the government's done since the GI Bill. But let me ask you a question, one that some of our viewers may be wondering about. How is this nest egg multiplier different from standard long-term care insurance?
Well, great question, Bob. And I'm glad you asked it, because there are some very important distinctions. First of all, long-term care insurance is just like any other insurance. You pay an annual premium, and in return, the company promises to pay a set amount of money in long-term care benefits. But as I see it, there are several problems with standard long-term care insurance. One, they are crazy expensive. A typical long-term care benefit with a 5-year, $5,000 a month policy for a 65-year-old couple would cost more than $4,500 a year. And add in the important inflation riders, and the premium could easily shoot past $11,000 a year.
Explain why these regular long-term care policies are so expensive.
It's simple, Bob. Insurance companies don't want anything to do with them anymore. They're expensive and bad for the bottom line. As a result, 90% of long-term care insurers have abandoned the business. Those that have stuck around have raised premiums on older policies. In one case, retirees who held on to these policies got whacked big time when the company raised premiums as much as 130%.
130%? Oh my gosh, that is incredible.
It is. And to make it worse, long-term care insurance is what I call a use it or lose it proposition. If you happen to be in that 30% of the folks who don't need long-term care, all of those exorbitant premiums you've been paying through all the years, you never get any of it back. The insurance company gets to keep it, not you or your heirs. Nothing.
Thanks, Dave. That clears up a lot.
You're welcome, Bob. Let me bring up one other point, and this is another important difference between the nest egg multiplier and a standard long-term care policy. There is a huge difference between the term reimbursement and indemnity. With the nest egg multiplier, you're indemnified. That means if you need long-term care of any kind, the money is sent directly to you to use as you see fit. For example, if you need in-home care and you're eligible for a $5,000 per month benefit, if you only incur $1,000 worth of care, you can pocket the extra $4,000 and use it for anything whatsoever. Even if you use it to fly your kids across the country to visit with you, or pay them to come over to the house and play bingo with you. Traditional long-term care policies are generally set up as reimbursement plans, meaning you have to pay for all your long-term care costs up front. Then you apply to the insurance company, and if you're lucky, they will eventually reimburse you for the amount in the contract. And traditional long-term care policies specify how you use the money. My father had traditional long-term care insurance policy that I purchased for him that operated on a reimbursement basis. Dad needed in-home care for his Alzheimer's, but the insurance company refused to pay any benefits because it didn't cover in-home care.
Okay, let me run through this nest egg multiplier one more time. So you can take the money you normally have in a low-paying investment, like a CD, which aren't paying anything right now, and transfer it to one of these nest egg multipliers, where it'll multiply your initial investment by 300%, 400%, 500%, even 1,000%. So $25,000 could become as much as $250,000 in extra value. $50,000 could give you an extra $500,000 in added value. And $100,000 could become as much as $1 million, depending on your situation. And you can use this money to pay for long-term care without ever tapping into your retirement savings. And in addition to all that, your spouse or your heirs can receive 2 to 3 times your initial investment as a form of life insurance. And on top of all that, this is all 100% tax-free to you and your family, without even having to produce receipts for expenses. Is that right, Dave?
It's 100% correct, Roger. And in fact, I have some exciting news about these nest egg multiply plans that is literally breaking news. And it's going to have a huge impact for your viewers. As I was waiting to come on, I received an important information alert specifically regarding one of these long-term care alternatives.
So this really is breaking news.
Absolutely. And your viewers are going to be among the first in the country to hear about it.
Well, I can't wait to hear about this. What happened?
Well, in the past, in order to establish the nest egg multiplier, you had to make a single deposit. Well, as of today, you can spread the deposit over 1, 5, 7, 10, or 15 years. You choose. This is great news, since a good deal of Americans have their money tied up in a qualified account like an IRA. This multiple deposit option will allow them to spread out their conversion tax. IRAs really are the golden goose. And the best part is, you still get the same benefits as if you had deposited a single sum. Roger and Bob, this is a major breakthrough in retirement planning, and I'm thrilled to be able to bring this idea to your viewers today.
Wow, this may be the most extraordinary opportunity we've ever presented. I can safely say, in my 15 years as a publisher of Eagle Financial Publications, I've never seen anything with this incredible upside and virtually no downside.
Well, there is one potential downside.
Well, there's always a catch. What is it this time?
Well, there's no way of knowing how long the government will allow these kinds of accounts to exist. They could be ending at any moment. But if you get into these now, you'll be grandfathered in, as it were, if the government decides to change it and eliminate the program. Furthermore, you want to be healthy enough today to qualify. So waiting can be dangerous. In fact, the younger you are, the more benefits you'll receive.
So, our viewers should get into the nest egg multiplier as soon as possible, before Uncle Sam crashes the party and they become uninsurable.
Well, I think the sooner they can get in and get involved, the better it will be for everyone in the years to come.
Dave, I can't thank you enough for being out here with us today.
It was my pleasure, Roger, and thank you for having me.
And Bob, thank you very much for being part of our Retirement Roundtable. As always, your information was top-notch.
Thanks for asking me to be part of it, Roger.
Wow, what a presentation. I've learned a lot, and I'm sure you have too. Now, if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed by it all, that's completely natural. That was a ton of information we just gave you. And when we talk about retirement, we're really talking about your future, your life, your savings, your plans, your hopes and dreams. And the information we just shared with you, the $125,000 solution and the nest egg multiplier, both could have a profound impact on you and your family. But as exciting as this information is, you have a right to be concerned for the future. As you saw today, there is a lot to worry about. However, you do not have to go it alone. When we sat down to plan this retirement roundtable, we did not want to just dump a bunch of information on you and say, so long, see ya, good luck figuring all this stuff out yourself. We wanted to make sure that you always have the information you need to help ensure a long, peaceful, and enjoyable retirement. And this retirement roundtable was just the beginning. Right now, I'd like to invite you to be part of something truly important, something we've never done here at Eagle Financial. Today, we're launching a specifically designed opportunity we call the Lifetime Retirement Protection Program. And I'd like you to be a part of it. The Lifetime Retirement Protection Program is our way to give you unlimited access to the newest, most up-to-date, most sophisticated retirement strategies and plans, not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. Once you're part of it, it's yours forever. No one can take it away from you. And as a special gift to you, this unusual lifetime access actually extends past your lifetime. It exists forever, meaning you'll be able to pass pass on all the wisdom and know-how of all our top retirement experts to your children and your grandchildren. So let me show you everything we're giving you as part of your Lifetime Retirement Protection Program. You just heard the incredible information from Dave Phillips about how the #1 threat to retirees in America today could potentially wipe out your retirement savings. Dave is one of the most experienced, knowledgeable, and practical retirement experts in the entire country. That's why, as part of your Lifetime Retirement Protection Program, I want to give you Dave's special report, the Nest Egg Multiplier and Protection Plan. The special report details the exact strategy Dave talked about here today. The unique Nest Egg Multiplier that could not only provide you with $150,000, $200,000, even $450,000 in tax-free value. It can protect a lifetime of retirement savings should you need any kind of long-term care. You can even pass it on to your heirs. You'll find all the details in Dave's free report, the Nest Egg Multiplier and Protection Plan. I'm also going to send you a free copy of Dave's best-selling book, The 10 Most Common Estate Planning Mistakes and How to Avoid Them. And that's just the beginning of what we have in store for you here today. Earlier, you heard Bob Carlson talk about a powerful income strategy called the $125,000 solution. Well, Bob's pulled together all the details of this plan and put it into this special guide, $125,000 Solution, the tax-free lifetime income stream. Inside these pages, you'll find everything you need to start using this powerful strategy to crank out tax-free income. And your lifetime retirement and protection program's just getting started. Earlier, Bob discussed the importance of Social Security. Well, his special report, 3 Secrets to Boosting Social Security Benefits, gives you the details on how to do it right away. And that's not all. Bob's also including his special report, Keeping Your Nest Egg Safe from the IRS Money Grab, that details all of Bob's best-kept secrets to keep more of your hard-earned money. I'm also going to send you another report from Bob, the 20-Minute Estate Plan. In it, you'll find a simple way to create a solid, risk-free estate plan in less time than it takes to watch your favorite TV show. Earlier, you heard Bob mention a special kind of annuity that actually pays you 8 times your initial investment. Well, you'll find the details on that one and much more in your free report, The Truth About Annuities. In addition to all that, you'll also be receiving these other important reports from Bob Carlson, America's #1 retirement expert. Hidden real estate tax bombs to avoid, inflation-proof your nest egg, and finally, ensure your way to a rock-solid retirement. Now that's quite a package, but I am nowhere near done. This is something we have never offered, and I have no idea whether we'll ever do it again. Here it is. Exclusively for you, as a member of the Lifetime Retirement Protection Plan, I want to give you unlimited lifetime membership to Bob Carlson's private research letter, Retirement Watch. Every month, Retirement Watch brings you face-to-face with Bob's most valuable strategies for making and keeping the most money for your retirement. For more than 25 years, Retirement Watch has been keeping readers on top of the latest and most important changes affecting you and your retirement. It's truly one of a kind. The most detailed, independent research available anywhere. Every single month, Bob will keep you up to date on everything that could affect your retirement. As a Retirement Watch member, you'll discover how to position your portfolio to best take advantage of the latest market trends and research, how to design an estate plan that meets all your goals, how you can leave your grandchild a comfortable nest egg while barely cutting into your own standard of living, how to slash your taxes to the bone, legally and without trouble from the IRS, how to steer away from the biggest traps in investing, estate planning, insurance, and taxes, how changes in healthcare will affect you, how to protect your family's wealth from the uncertain cost of long-term care, and how to determine the best strategy for you, how to get the best prices on life insurance and Medicare supplement insurance, simple steps to cut costs, save time, and make your wealth grow faster. And to help you grow your wealth as quickly and safely as possible, Bob's created 5 distinct recommended portfolios within Retirement Watch, each one designed to meet a specific investment goal. Bob calls these his easy chair portfolios. Why? because they let you kick back and relax while you build your wealth. Here's the first one, True Diversification Portfolio. This is a collection of diversified mutual funds using the same strategies as the best institutional investors. His Sector Portfolio. This is a balanced approach to the markets, meant to take advantage of those sectors with the best potential for long-term appreciation. His Balanced Portfolio. This is built for investors who seek above-average returns over time with less monthly volatility than the overall stock market. His Income Growth Portfolio. For investors who primarily want an annual income yield of 3 to 5% and have both income and principal keep pace with inflation. In his Retirement Paycheck Portfolio. Designed for those who plan to use the portfolio to fund their regular spending with above-average interest rates and dividend yields. Retirement Watch will give you the confidence to make sound decisions and effective plans for your financial future. Here's what some of Bob's readers have had to say about the information he delivers every single month in Retirement Watch. JF from California wrote, "Your information stopped me from making a huge mistake." Johnny from Annapolis, Maryland had this to say about Bob's retirement wisdom. "I lost a lot of money by not paying attention to Bob. My financial advisor had me deep in the NASDAQ, so I finally fired him, and now I'm paying much more attention." Warren from San Jose, California, he said, "Thanks for the clear and concise estate and retirement information. Again, my heirs and I have greatly benefited from your vast well of knowledge." Malcolm from New York told us, "Bob Carlson taught me the breadth and depth of what I don't know." Mike from Los Angeles, California wrote to say, "Bob Carlson's mutual fund selection simplifies my life, but it also gives me an option to be more active if I want to be." Andy from New Mexico said, "My eyes are open to the areas of preparing for retirement other than investing." And here we go. This is one of the best things a person can say about Bob's advice. This came from Randall from Federal Way, Washington. He said, "I can sleep at night and achieve what I want to achieve." And now you have the chance to join these folks and plenty of others who sleep well at night by becoming a lifetime member of Bob Carlson's Retirement Watch, and as a member of our exclusive Lifetime Retirement Protection Program. You'll have unlimited lifetime access to Bob's growing library of valuable reports, including what heirs should know about IRAs, marital deduction, do's and don'ts, 6 expensive IRA mistakes and how to avoid them, 8-point estate planning checklist, 7 secrets to a wealthier retirement. These reports normally sell for $29.95 each, but you'll have complete and unlimited access for life because Bob's updating these reports as rules and regulations change. You know, the government always changes everything on you. So, you're probably wondering, how much will it cost to become a member of the Lifetime Retirement Protection Program? Let's review what you're getting first. You're getting Dave Phillips' special report, The Nest Egg Multiplier and Protection Plan, a $49 value, yours free. You're getting Dave's book, The 10 Most Common Estate Planning Mistakes and How to Avoid Them. That normally sells for $49.95. That's yours free. Bob Carlson's special guide to the $125,000 solution, the tax-free lifetime income stream, a $49 value, again, yours free. Plus, Bob's 3 secrets to boosting Social Security, the 20-minute estate plan, 5 hidden real estate bombs, inflation-proof your portfolio, ensure your way to a rock-solid retirement, and the truth about annuities. These reports are free to members of Bob's Retirement Watch, and we could easily charge at least $19.95 for each of them. That's a $119 value. Yours, again, absolutely free. Plus, the 5 exclusive reports from Bob's library, a value of nearly $150 in all, yours free. Plus, a lifetime membership in Bob Carlson's Retirement Watch newsletter. This one-of-a-kind publication normally retails for $249 a year. 10 years of membership would cost nearly $2,500, but it's now yours free for life. Add it all up, that's nearly $3,000 in value. But you can have it all today for a one-time cost of only $495. That's a savings of almost $2,400 right off the top. And this is a one-time cost. In other words, you will never have to pay to renew your subscription ever again. Now, I do need to mention one thing. With all the free books, special reports, an incredible value you're getting, we simply can't allow any refunds with this offer. Believe it or not, there are people who just will order and cancel immediately just to get all the free information. I'm sorry, I just don't think that's fair to anyone. So I'm sure you can understand why we have to implement this policy. Now let me explain another benefit of becoming a member of the Lifetime Retirement Protection Program right now. Sign up now, and you'll also receive a free lifetime membership in Bob Carlson's Retirement Watch Spotlight. These exclusive video presentations are delivered every month to get in-depth on one topic to bring you up to date on the latest ways to grow and protect your retirement. Past Retirement Spotlight presentations included 12 Social Security myths and mistakes, 15 ways to increase after-tax income in retirement, 11 essential estate planning documents and strategies, how the new tax law shakes up your retirement finances, navigating the Great Transition, investment in economic year-end review, the biggest retirement fear of most Americans, the 5 steps every investor should take right now. You get all his past videos and all his new ones every single month. Bob's Retirement Spotlight series normally sells for $199 every year, but it's yours free for a lifetime when you join today. Oh, one more thing. Come on board now, and I will give you a free 3-month subscription to our private advisory service, Dividend Investor. That's a $75 value, yours free. Now add all that up, and that's nearly $3,300 in lifetime value for just one payment today of $495. That's an 85% discount. Now, I've been publisher of Eagle Financial Publications for 15 years now, and I can honestly say we have never, ever offered a package this important, this valuable, with this much life-changing information. Not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. This opportunity will not be available long. So I urge you, click the button below now to get started right away. When you do, you'll go to a secure order form. Just fill in your details, and in just a few minutes, you'll be on your way to a lifetime of information designed to protect, enhance, and grow wealth, so you can have the retirement you've always dreamed of. I'm Roger Michalski, publisher of Eagle Financial Publications. It's been my pleasure bringing you this important information to you today. To keep the information flowing for the rest of your life, click the button below now.